So it's a bit of a different one for me today. I'm usually talking about investment on this channel, but today we're looking at a way you can make hundreds of pounds extra money tax-free each month. Now, make money online schemes sound like a complete scam, and I'll be honest, to start with, I thought this method was a scam as well. But as soon as I've tried it, I've never looked back, and it really does work. I make about £420 on average each month through doing this. With all the concerns around jobs and employment at the moment, there really is no better time to make extra money where you can. If that sounds like something you're interested in, then check this video out. Welcome back to Your Average Investor, the channel that looks at my journey through investment, budgeting and finance. In today's video, we're going to look at a money-making technique which can make you a few £100s every single month. This technique is called matched betting. Now, I know what you're thinking, it sounds like it's gambling, but it's not. There's absolutely no chance you can lose money here as long as you follow the step-by-step process. So what is match betting? There's lots and lots of bookies online, all competing for your custom. One of the ways they compete for your business is by putting offers on to hook you in, and then obviously over time, as you lose money, they make their profits. So before we look too much into how it works, there are a few restrictions which I need to mention to start with. Obviously, it is a form of gambling. Even though it's risk-free, it's still seen as gambling. So you have to be over 18 for this to work, because otherwise you can't sign up to bookies. Also, to take maximum advantage of the bookie sign-up offers, which are often some of the most lucrative ones, you can't have had a previous account with that bookmaker. So if you've been betting before at quite a lot of different companies, you might not be able to use as many of the sign-up offers as somebody who hasn't ever bet before. Now, that doesn't mean if you've got accounts with bookies already, you can't still take advantage of them. They put on weekly and daily offers that you can take advantage of to make as much money as possible. These daily and weekly offers are a little bit more complicated and slightly more advanced than the initial sign-up offers. So I'll do a future video on them just to explain it in a bit more detail. So before we look at an example of just how easy this is and how it works, what do you need to get started? Now, there are three key things that you need before you can start match betting. There's an additional one, which I think is really important, but you don't have to take advantage of it. The first one is an internet connection, and if you're watching this, we already know that's ticked. The second is a little bit of money. Now, I started match betting with £100, and I've grown that into over £2,500 now. So whatever money you put in, see it as an investment that you will get back out quite quickly. The third thing is a subscription to a piece of software. The product I use is called Profit Accumulator, and it's £17.99 a month. However, I'm making about £420 on average each month, so it more than pays for that. I've got a sign up link below, which gives you 14 days on Profit Accumulator for just £1. So you get to give it a go, you get to see what it's about, and decide if it's the right thing for you to continue doing. In those 14 days, I estimate you'll be able to complete around 8 to 10 offers, depending on the size of your initial bankroll. The money you'll have made in this time will be more than enough to pay for the subsequent months of this membership. And remember, you're going to keep making money month after month after month. The fourth and optional thing is a separate bank account. Now, when I first started this, I set myself up a separate bank account from everything else, as sometimes you've got lots of money coming in, going out into different bookmakers and different accounts. So it can be quite difficult to keep track of if it's going in and out of your normal personal account. So I would recommend opening a new bank account just to make your life more simple. So let's take a quick look at how match betting works. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take you step by step through an example and show you the process of finding a bet, finding the offer, and then executing it.
When logging into Profit Accumulator, the first screen you'll see will be the dashboard. From here, you'll see all the sign-up offers, casino offers, and reload offers, as well as an offers calendar, an odds matcher, and a profit tracker. Equally, there's a Start Here tab where Profit Accumulator breaks down exactly what to do for a beginner. Essentially, match betting uses bookmaker offers to profit. There are two stages to this process. The first stage is a qualifying bet. This was used to unlock a bookie offer, for example, a £10 free bet. The second is the profit bet, which makes you a guaranteed risk-free profit. You'll even know how much profit you'll make before the match or race even starts. Both the qualifying and the profit bet are made up of two individual bets. A back bet, where you back a result or you say a team will win, and a lay bet, where you lay the result or say a team won't win. For example, they'll either lose or draw. Still sound complicated? Profit Accumulator do all of the hard work for you. If you click on the Start Here tab, they break down the step-by-step process. Profit Accumulator has a range of different tutorials and guides to help support you understand how match betting works. From the Start Here tab, you can see different tutorials from the basic idea, some introduction to betting exchanges, which is where you lay your bets, and then the first 2 bets that you can place, tutorials to guide you through them, and the guaranteed profit that you'll make for each of them. So you can see by doing the Coral and the Betfred sign-up offers, you stand to make around £40 guaranteed profit. By going back to Dashboard and tapping sign-up offers, you'll see all the potential sign-up offers that you can do. Each of them has a guide and a guaranteed profit to go with them. For the purpose of this example, we'll look at the Ladbrokes offer. So we'll tap Offer Details, and this will bring us through to a page designated to the Ladbrokes sign-up offer. There's a video here which walks you through the process, and if you scroll down, you can see the method written out for you as well. It gives you information about the offer, about the qualifying bet, and then about the subsequent free bet or profit bet. Before placing a bet, it's important to understand the terms and conditions of the offer. This will ensure that the subsequent bet you make will trigger the free bets. The next thing you need to check is if there are any stipulations on what you have to bet on. Again, in the case of the Ladbrokes offer, your back odds need to be a minimum of 1.5 or greater. The reason decimal odds are used for match betting is because it makes it easier to calculate the stake that you have to place. Once you're happy with all that, we now need to find a game, match or race to bet on. So again, Profit Accumulator makes this a really easy thing to do, and it shows you the best games to bet on. It does this using its odds matching software, which you can see on screen in front of you. So if we tap odds matching, it will bring us through to the odds matching software. The first thing you want to do when coming into the odds matching software is filter the results that you can see, as there's lots of information you don't need at the moment. To do this, we tap filters and then decide how we want to filter the results. In this case, we want Ladbrokes as our bookmaker and we want Betfair as our exchange. You also want to set the minimum odds to coincide with the terms and conditions set by the bookmaker. In this case, the minimum odds are 1.5. Now, while in this example we're using Betfair for our exchange or lay bet, as you get more used to match betting, I've found that I prefer to use Smarkets as they charge a lower level of commission when compared to Betfair. Because when you're betting on an exchange, you're betting against other people rather than the company, Betfair take a 5% commission on any winnings that you make. This might not sound like a lot, but it can add up quite quickly. Smarkets, on the other hand, usually charge 2% commission, which can make quite a big difference. However, if you're a Profit Accumulator member, you can get 0% commission on Smarkets, which can really maximise those profits. By filtering using the odds matching software on Profit Accumulator, you can see that now only games and horse races and other fixtures with Ladbrokes and Betfair are displayed. From left to right, we can see that they now list the time, the game or the name of the event, the bet that you need to back with the bookmaker, the rating, which is quite important. The closer this is to 100, the smaller qualifying loss you make with your first bet. You can then also see the bookie, the back odds, the exchange, and the lay odds. For the purpose of this example, I'm going to choose the Borussia Dortmund and Bayern Munich game. So I'll tap on the calculator to the left-hand side of the game, and up the Profit Accumulator calculator, which tells us exactly how much we need to bet on each result. What we have to do to start with is trigger the free bets. And in the case of the Ladbrokes offer, we initially have to bet £5 at a back odds of 1.5 or greater in order to trigger £20 free bet. To place the qualifying bet then, we need to make sure that the calculator is set to normal and simple at the top. We also need to make sure that the bookmaker stake is set to £5, as this coincides with the offer details. The back odds and the lay odds will pull through from Profit Accumulator's odds matching software, and as we're using Betfair as our exchange to lay the bet, we need to make sure that the commission is set to 5%. The Profit Accumulator calculator then tells you exactly what will happen after you've placed these bets. You can see that from placing these bets, you'll make a small qualifying loss of 18p. Now this is perfectly normal. You will usually make a small qualifying loss in your qualifying bet. However, as you're unlocking a subsequent free bet, the profit from that will more than outweigh the loss that you're making here. Once we're happy with everything on this screen, we'll go and place our £5 bet. On the right hand side of this calculator, it shows you what the bet to make is. As you can see, we're going to be betting on Bayern Munich, and the odds should be 2.0. So we'll go and hop onto the Ladbrokes app and find that bet. So I've come onto the Ladbrokes website and I've found the Borussia Dortmund Bayern Munich match. You can see the odds that I've selected as 2.00, which is equal to what we found on the Profit Accumulator odds matching software. What I'm doing here is betting on Bayern Munich to win. If I scroll up to have a look at the bet slip, you can see that the bet is now Bayern Munich at odds of 2.0. I then need to input my stake of £5 and you would then place the bet. Now obviously I'm not placing the bet in this case as I've already done the sign up offer, but here you would simply just tap place bet and then move back to the Profit Accumulator website. Once back on Profit Accumulator, we need to make sure that our lay odds haven't changed. If they have, we'll need to input the new lay odds into the calculator so it alters the amount we have to bet. Once you're happy that everything's correct and maps across, we now need to copy our lay stake across to the betting exchange. You can find the lay stake under the results section where it says you could lay, and in this case our lay stake is £5.08. You can then navigate to the betting exchange, in this case Betfair. What we now need to do is lay the bet, and what this means is that we're saying Bayern Munich will not win the game. So either the draw or Dortmund will be the winning result. As we're laying the bet, we need to place the bet under the lay tab at the top. As you can see on the right hand side, this is coloured in red, whereas the back bet is coloured in blue. We can see that the lay odds of 2.02 equal what we had in the Profit Accumulator calculator. So we'll select Bayern Munich. As we're laying Bayern Munich, we're saying Bayern Munich will not win this game. We'll input the stake of £5.08 as we saw on the Profit Accumulator calculator, and then we'll check that the liability in the yellow button where it says place bet equals what's on the Profit Accumulator calculator, which it does. It's £5.18 as a liability. Again, I'm not actually going to place this bet as I'm not doing the sign-up offer, but here you would simply tap place bet. So once we've placed our qualifying bets, we now need to find something to bet on with our free bets. And this is where we make our profit. When you're doing your qualifying bets, you need to make sure the rating is as high as possible to make sure your qualifying loss is as small as possible. Whereas when you're using free bets, you want to make sure your stake not returned percentage or your SNR percentage is as high as possible. So you can tap SNR percentage and that will put the highest ones to the top. So now you can see all these games on Ladbrokes and Betfair are ordered, with the highest stake not returned games at the top. To make maximum profit from your free bets, you want to be using odds as high as possible. However, the higher the odds you use, the higher your level of liability that you'll need in your Betfair exchange will be. Your liability is the amount of money you stand to lose if the game that you've backed wins. When I say potentially lose, it doesn't mean that you'll actually lose the money, because the profit from the winnings on the other bet will more than outweigh that. What I would recommend is that you do a little bit of reading into lay betting and liability before you decide to move into match betting, as it's important that you understand this. For this example, we're going to use the Wolfsburg and Dortmund game. As with the qualifying bet, the back and lay odds pull through from the odds matching software. As we're using the £20 free bet this time, we need to make sure that the bookmaker's stake says £20. And where we selected normal last time, we need to change this to free bet SNR on the top left hand side of this calculator. Again, we need to make sure the lay commission is set to 5%, as this needs to be factored into our calculation. Once this has all been done, the calculator will show you what your lay stake is that you have to place on Betfair. In this case, the lay stake is £14.32, with a liability of £52.98. At the bottom of the calculator, you'll see it gives you the exact profit you can expect to make from this bet, before a ball has even been kicked. Back into the Ladbrokes app, I've found the game that we're going to bet on with our free bet, which was Wolfsburg and Borussia Dortmund. Here we're betting on Wolfsburg to win with odds of 4.33. This matched what we found on Profit Accumulator's odds matching calculator. After completing your qualifying bet, you would see a free bet toggle on the bet slip, which you would select before placing your bet. Obviously that's not there on screen now for me, as I've already completed the sign up offer. Once you've placed the bet, it's again important to make sure that the lay odds haven't changed on Betfair. If they have, then change them in the calculator and then move back across to Betfair to place the lay bet. So back onto the betting exchange, we can see that the Wolfsburg lay odds are 4.7, which equal what they were on the odds matching calculator. So we'll tap the odds of 4.7, and then we'll input the stake of £14.32 like the calculator told us. We'll check the liability, which in this case is £52.98, which is equal to what it said in the calculator. Once that's sorted, tap place bet and you will have laid the bet. By placing these two bets in sequence then, you will have made guaranteed profit. Initially in the qualifying bet, you would have made a small loss of 18p. Using the free bet, you have made guaranteed profit. In this case, either £13.62 if the bookmaker wins or £13.60 if the exchange wins. This equates to a total gain of £13.42 or £13.44 guaranteed profit off the basis of both of the bets. And that's how simple match betting is. You then move on to the next offer to make more profit, and so on and so on.
And that's match betting. To start with, it can seem quite complicated, so I recommend checking and double checking before you make your bets each time, as the only way you can lose money is if you make a mistake when you're putting the numbers in. If you decide to use Profit Accumulator, it calculates all the numbers for you. So it's as simple as copying the amount across and placing the bet. As I've said, it is completely risk-free. The only time it can go wrong is if you make a mistake. If match betting sounds like something you want to start, to make yourself hundreds and hundreds of pounds extra tax-free cash each month, I've dropped my referral link down in the description. This referral link for Profit Accumulator will give you your first 14 days for just £1. After those 14 days, you can decide if it's still for you. If it is, which I'm sure it will be after you've got a taste of that money, it moves up to £17.99 a month. But like I've said, you will more than recoup that from your winnings each month. So if you found this video useful, please like, comment and subscribe. And let me know down below if you're going to start match betting. I really can't recommend it enough. Subscribe to the channel to get a notification when I release more videos. And that's that. Go make yourself some profit and I'll see you in the next one.